Hi people, how you doing? Welcome to the show where we talk to you.
You okay out there? Today, we cross the Firth of Forth to Kirkcaldy to talk to some of the folks over there. Microphone. 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 Ah! Let's kick off with that train driver. Hello, mate. Do you come from Kirkcaldy?
No, God forbid.
Where are you from?
Dundee.
Not like him.
Okay, lads, don't fight. I'll go searching for natives of Kirkcaldy, Kirkcaldy. Aha, could that be the title for a song? I suppose, well, no. Oh well, never mind. Okay, here we are. Let's have a quick look round. Yes. Well, wait a minute. What's that? Oh, hang on. No, no, no. Oh, no! Wee bit slower, if you please. Right, let's start down here by the coast. Will somebody speak to me?
And you have a beach stretching from Kirkcaldy Harbour to Dysart Harbour, about 1.25 miles. The Ravenscraig Castle, the parks, the nooks, and what have you right along, and the 3 multi-storey blocks. And the multi-storey blocks fit into the setting.
And the whole area has been grassed and is going to be planted extensively with trees. So it'll be a very pleasant place just to relax in. 5 years ago, on both sides of the road were tall, dark factories.
There's an awful lot of nonsense talked about high living. There's nothing wrong with high living if the flats are good, if the people are good, if they're carefully looked after, and if the setting is good. So these flats, people actually are in the queue for these flats and very often have given up the semi-detached council-type houses to come to the flats. I have a practice that I leave the house here about 8:20 in the morning. I walk up round about Ravenscraig Park and come back to the house and then...
We have a park there it's second to none.
Wonder what it's like in summer. Sheer magic that, eh? Hey.
If you like the country, you can go in the park. If you like the sea, you just go down through the park and then you're on the shore.
Our foreshore is not too good for swimming because it's polluted to an extent.
One of the tragedies of Kirkcaldy's environment is the spoliation of the beach. 50 years ago, it was a beautiful sandy beach. I can remember going down there and swimming in Dysart.
There is an improvement, but it has to be a natural process.
Okay then, let's get me feet wet. Ugh. And have a wee look at Dysart.
I'm a Dysart man too, you see, so they say it's like, I always keep saying you're not British, you're Scottish. You see, I'm not Kirkcaldy, I'm Dysart.
It was only in the mid-1930s that it became part of Kirkcaldy, but it still retains, and I hope will always retain, its own identity.
You see, the problem in Dysart is you have so many old houses which must be retained, and they're listed houses, and it's finding the balance. You must marry the old with the new.
Do you tell me that you actually like these flats that are painted black and what have you? Like boxes to me. I know somebody got an award for them or something, but to me they should have got shot.
It made a big difference to Dysart. Well, the old buildings was, you had the narrow roads and the high buildings, and there were maybe 2 or 3 story.
Nothing against Dysart, remember. I've got a lot of friends in Dysart.
We've won the Howard Place scheme, which, if you look from the shore, has a skyline which is reminiscent of ships, because, you know, the connection with the shipping. And we have some of the little houses of Scotland which the National Trust have modernised.
Francis is one of those pits that works away quietly without anybody knowing very much about it. It's never in the public eye. It's something of a family pit, slightly old-fashioned, but a happy pit.
It's a nice, friendly pit. It's always been a great, friendly pit. Of course, it's not too big. Everybody knows everybody else, and that makes all the difference.
I still don't relish the idea about going down a pit. I've never been down a pit. My father used to go out at 10 minutes to 9 every night, 7 days a week.
Seafield is a different kind of pit. You've got 2,500 men there, drawn from 13 old collieries. It's more like a factory underground. If you're working with coal, it's a dirty job. In many cases, it can be an unpleasant job. Nevertheless, it attracts men.
The coal face was 100 yards long, and you had a man for every 8 or 10 yards. It used to be 10 yards to start with, and then it was really reduced to 8. The miner had to take out these 8 yards for, let me see, what, 10 shillings. 10 shillings at that time.
The men are now getting the wages they deserve and have deserved for a long time.
Good tune.
Well, I never was club-minded, actually, until I came here. And the first night we were welcomed into the place.
It's the people. Everything. I mean, good set of lads about here. I mean, they're in real good mixers, as you should know.
Is it sunny? Well, they went away last Saturday, I think. They were bustling with skating.
A lot of folk in the town knew that I didn't ken. At one time I ken everybody in the town.
We were complete strangers when we walked into this hall, and there's very few people that we don't know now.
We've had a fair influx of English people because of the new industry, and I was told to hear an outsider come to Kirkcaldy and say that they don't like it.
Even the aggressive people are friendly.
Even the aggressive people are friendly. That's nice. What's the score here then? Wait a minute. Now think, man. Huh? Intelligence, I think. Okay, what joke up with those trees there then, hey?
The log went in one end of the factory, it would be out again at the other end as a piece of furniture within 8 to 10 weeks. Well, it started 105 years ago through the initiative of one man. There's no logical reason why there should be a furniture factory here. There's no major supplies of timber. It's not near a major market. It was just because one man who had energy and enterprise and intelligence built it up. Well, when we decided we had to move away from the old factory, we did look around all of Fife and even other parts of Scotland. And we decided to stay in Kirkcaldy for 2 reasons. One, because we wanted to keep our present employees, and secondly, because the town offered us lots of help financially to move.
That's good. But what really made Kirkcaldy famous? Are you trying to make an idiot out of me? Okay, let's take a look at a lino factory.
No, I correct you, it's not a lino factory, it's a floor covering industry. Well, floor covering was first made in Kirkcaldy in 1847. In those days it was known as floor cloth. Then a chap called Walton invented linoleum, which was first made in England. When the patent for that ran out, it was produced in Kirkcaldy for the first time in the mid-1870s. At one stage, there were 8 or 9 different firms making either floor cloth or linoleum in the borough. And it was without any doubt the most important town in the world for floor covering, and specifically for linoleum. The larger firms swallowed up the smaller ones until we were left with two very large worldwide companies. They continued up until the late 1950s, when one of the companies closed their works in Kirkcaldy and moved down to England. That left the borough with only one floor covering manufacturer.
One of the great advantages in the Kirkcaldy area itself is the standard of loyalty of the employees.
Well, we're ups and downs, you know. Generally speaking, I think we've got pretty good industrial relations in here, you know. I mean, I'm not saying they're perfect by any means, not at all, but I mean, generally speaking, we can usually solve anything we've got to solve around the table.
It's all right, really. I've been there, what, 27 years, so can't be too bad.
Generally, it's easier to talk rationally, firmly, of course, always, but rationally with union representation over the annual pay.
You would offer anybody that came into your house, you know, would you like a cup of coffee? I emphasise it doesn't make any difference at the end of the day, you know, to your negotiations, you know, but at least you're negotiating in a relaxed atmosphere, you know. So this is a great step forward.
So how did people feel when the other factory closed?
Well, to begin with, it frightened everybody, because I don't think anybody realised that Barry Staines were vulnerable. They employed in the region of 2,000, so that it was not only a large number of people who were directly affected, but their families. An executive committee was formed with the sole objective of attracting new industries into the borough. Within a very short time, we had the first new factories working and employing people.
What have we here? A shopping centre, as I live and breathe, even.
It's amazing the number of people that come from outside the town to shop in Kirkcaldy.
I stay in Kirkcaldy. Well, I think Kirkcaldy is a very good shopping centre. We've made such a lot of friends since we came here, and I've always felt at home. I belong Annan, and at one time I would have said Annan was my home, but now Kirkcaldy is my home.
Well, the market for one thing. I mean, that's
the whole high street.
But the whole of the high street is. I mean, over the years, it's been modernised to a fair extent.
Kirkcaldy is really a boom town, and it's basically, I would think, true oil.
Here, one can be in the country in 5 minutes. Lovely parks, Kirkcaldy.
Looks a bit drafty. Let's have another wee dot of magic, eh?
Well, I like Kirkcaldy because to me, Kirkcaldy's been good to me, you know. At times I've thought it wasn't, you know, but after being here 24 years and being married about 22 years and family getting up, I feel it's been pretty good to me. I've had struggles, of course, but things are going pretty well just now, and I feel it's a town that's not too large, you know.
After the war, Kirkcaldy was very definitely a lang toon. There was very little depth to the borough, so that the bulk of the population lived under very poor conditions, in tenements, crammed together.
It's one of these places, like, you know, where it's just sort of service areas, you know, to the place, like, you know, and it's all sort of paths and everything through, like. Yeah, I quite like it up there, actually. There's not much going on about it. You don't get much noise about it at night anyway, you know. I mean, there's not a lot of... There's no shops about it, actually, you know. You don't bother about cafes and what have you, and all the rest of it. Nice and quiet. And this is what I like.
Nice select bit of housing here at Wraith Estate.
And a local group of businessmen decided that they would engage a leading architect to provide an estate that retained all the beauty and amenities of the original land. so that the houses were built around the trees.
It's an isolated development. You know, you're almost on your own. You're in a field, in a wood, really, a pocket within the town. If that's the kind of environment you want, it's an excellent environment.
The houses were built around the walls of the old abbey. Very little social life, really. It's mainly private parties.
What's this building here?
It's an old people's home. It would provide a very pleasant location for the people to live in. They only needed to cross a road and they were in a park. They were within comfortable walking distance of the high street. It will also provide room for people who used to live in that part of the town.
A lot of old folks here live in shelter housing, like Jim here in Dysart.
I think it's an excellent idea. It gives the people their independence, but not the fear of, if I collapse on this floor now, will I lie here for a year and nobody would know?
They are not shut away, but they are properly looked after.
You see that cord up there? There's one of those in all the rooms. And if I need any help, I just pull the cord. And it puts a red light up in the window here. And the warden comes. She knows where to come when she sees the red light.
In the centre of Kirkcaldy, we've got the townhouse. Sheriff's Court, and the Memorial Park, donated by Sir Michael Nairn of linoleum fame.
It was donated by Sir Michael Nairn to the town as a war memorial.
For your entertainment, at enormous expense, name, courtesy of the guy claimed by some to be the father of modern economics, Kirkcaldy man Adam Smith.
Well, this is what Kirkcaldy's really needed.
It is entirely due to Adam Smith, who never gave a penny, I don't think, to the town, but was born here. Having been dead for some 300 years, that this place actually ever existed.
Oh, that's the best thing ever hit Kirkcaldy, actually. I mean, the people that come out, they're really enjoying it.
No reason that my social life has never, involved that sort of thing. It's not, I don't like plays and, this sort of thing, but...
for a place the size of Kirkcaldy to have this, it's wonderful.
You've got such things as the Gilbert and Sullivan Amateur Company. You've an amateur opera company.
Well, I prefer a variety show myself.
It's like running a public library.
It's more or less booked up all the time.
Once a month. I go once a month, on average.
And once a year, the Links Market comes to town. I love their Links Market, with a 600-year-old history, the largest street market in Britain.
Okay, boys and girls, here we go, hold tight.
In retrospect, I'm very glad I was successful for the last time because I was provost during perhaps the most important period of Kirkcaldy's history, a period which incorporated the modernisation of the Adam Smith halls, the opening of the swimming pools. We are a thriving, go-ahead, progressive town, and we have a place and a part to play in the new Kirkcaldy district. I'm not too happy about Regalia for opening the Links Market. I accepted somehow because we'd only be doing it for 2 years. I said it made us too much like the market people. I think that the chain of office of the provost would have been sufficient for that, but I'm carrying on a tradition.
32. Yellow line is 3 at the bottom. Yellow line is 31.
You can fit into any social structure. And I always say you can call this from the scaffy to the provost by his first name.
Well, we still have too many substandard houses, so that I would like to see all the substandard houses swept away and everybody housed in suitable accommodation. I would like to see a further diversification of industry. Apart from those things, I'm really satisfied.
I always just keep emphasising the friendliness of the people. And I think it's a really amazing place, Kirkcaldy. You can come into Kirkcaldy, and if you want to, you can mix, and you would regret very much ever having to leave.